everyone, Karen here, and it is now time for my take on class number 5. Now, as you see here, you see a finished card. You don't normally see those in my videos. It's because I recorded this one. This is the one I intended to use, and my file was corrupted, so I need to make another card. So I'm going to make a slightly variation of this one, but I'm still going to kind of go along this idea. So instead of using the torn edge square, I'm going to use these stitched square dies. These were from several years ago, but I really do like them, so I'm going to use these. So I'm going to cut black out of the largest die in the set, and then I'm going to come down one size, and I'm going to cut out this cream color. So I'm just going to tape these down, and I'm going to run these through my machine. Alright, so I have this one here, and I have the big one in the black. Yeah, the next class, class 6, also has a corrupted file, so I have to go back and redo that one too. I'm not really sure what happened. Never had that happen before. So we'll have 2 cards for that one too. Yeah, I had 3 files that got corrupted. Alright, so these are going to get stacked in the front, and the lion is going to go on top like this. I have a 5x7 card base. This time I'm going to use craft card instead of white. And on the inside, I have the same saying, Happy birthday to the King of the Jungle. May your day roar with laughter, strength, and unstoppable joy. And I'm going to decorate the inside with this piece that is 7x2, and I'm going to put this on the inside like this. To get it out of the glare. And then this will be on top. Like this. That's how the inside's going to go. And on the front, I have a piece of black that is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And I'm going to layer that with a 4.5 by 6.5. And that's going to go on the front here. And I have a happy birthday. So let me get started with this. I'm going to take the cream colored one. And the first thing I want to do is, this is kind of plain. It's kind of flat. So I want to put a little bit of color on here. So I'm going to take a little bit of grasshopper, because there was no green in the kit. And I'm just going to take this scrap over here. Bring this in, and I'm just going to ink this up a little bit, and I'm just going to put a little green around, not evenly, just to give this a little something so it's not quite so flat. There we go, just like that. So now when I layer this on the green, it will be on here. Maybe I'll put a little bit more on the top. You know what, I'm going to make the outside darker now that I look at that, and I'll leave the middle lighter. Put a little more there. There. So it's going to be like, let's see if you can see it. No, you can kind of see it. It's a little bright. Let's see if I turn the light out. Well, doesn't help too much. You make it a little darker on the corners. There you go. Now you can see it a little bit better. So this will go on here like this. And our line will go here in the middle. Now I'm going to glue down the one line. Now when I do this, I need to be careful that I don't get any glue oozing out, because I'm going to color this. So I'm just going to carefully dab some glue on this lion. Any spot that's thicker, just going to dab. And I'll use my finger. If you have a Xyron, this might be a good time to use it. And I would run the Xyron, run the paper through the Xyron and then die cut it. That kind of gives you a cleaner edge. So let me just put a little more glue, dab down the ends here. Now I'm going to tap it. I'm just going to lay it down here and tap it. Spread out the glue a little bit. Make sure I don't have any big globs. And I'm going to put this right in the center. I think I want to do it that way. Wait a minute, let me make sure. I don't want to like put it at an angle or something. Nope, it won't fit. So yep, it will go straight. Because if you're someone who watches a lot of my videos, you'll know that, I get a general idea in my head, and then I make the cards. I usually don't do practice cards. Usually I do one card and move on to the next one. But this time, I'm going to have two that are kind of similar. I'm going to have 3 classes that are like that, because I had 3 files that were corrupted. Alright, so we have this all glued down. Let me close up my glue for now. We'll go back to the glue in a minute. Now, I'm going to bring in 2 of the tri-blends. Now, I'm going to use the mid-tones here. I'm going to be using GB5 and GY3 to color my lion. So the lighter color here, I am going to color the lion's face. So I'm going to start with his nose. And I'm not going to be too fussy with this because I'm going to use this second one to cover it up so you won't see if I color the paper. And I am going to grab maybe a darker color to do his nose. We'll see. And I will need black to do his eyes. You can kind of do this quickly because you do cover up your paper here with another one. So it's very forgiving. This is a very quick, forgiving technique. Let's see, I need that right there. Now the rest of his mane, I'm going to use this darker color, which is GB5. And we're going to fill it all in. You just want to make sure you get all the little nooks and crannies. You don't want to leave any little corners loose, uncolored. So we'll just keep going around. The first card I made, the paper had a coating on it, and I will tell you the ink kind of slid right off of that paper. So if you do have paper with a coating on it that normally you wouldn't be able to color on, that would be even better paper because it's not going to stick. It'll wipe right off. But this paper will be fine, and this is just plain old craft card. Oh, we need to color that one the other color. You can see how fast this goes. So when you look at it from the other side, you might see little spots that you didn't color as well as you want to. And you just go back. See, this goes really quick. Alright, come back in and color the one I missed. Color this one. And let me grab a darker color for the eyes. I have 0.5 here. And I'm just going to come in and color his eyes. And then let me try this over here, my scrap. Yeah, so I'm going to use the darkest color here, which is GB10. And I'm going to color his nose in. There we go. Just like that. So now, bring my glue back in. And I will put glue all over this one. Okay, here again, I'm going to come back down here. And I'm just going to dab a little bit. Spread all that glue out. Not as worried this time since the color is already down. You just want to make sure on the first row there, the first layer, that you don't get any glue because it won't color. Now if you wanted to, you could also use watercolors and do this. There we go. little stray piece of paper here. Let me get that out of there. There we go. Okay. Now we have this, and you can see how much more dimensional it is adding the two layers. Alright, so now, let me get the glue out of the way here. Now let me look at this. Let me bring in the card. You can start looking how all the layers are going to go together. Let's see, so this will all be like this. Now this down here, I'm thinking I want to color this brown. So let me grab some Fryer Brown. And let me color the back here. Bring in some scrap. And we're just going to ink that up really quick. Now I want to look at this for a moment to decide if I want to edge any of these papers, either black or brown. Let's see, because it's looking a little plain. So I think I do. I'm going to bring this scrap back in, and I'm going to kind of go around this edge with a little bit of brown. Even do the edge, darken that up. Yeah, this is more what I was going for. Give it a little bit more rustic look. Oh yeah, I like that a lot better. I think I'm going to do the same thing to the green here. I'm even tempted to scrape up the edges of this. Just catch a couple spots here and there. There we go. Alright, I think I'm happy with that now. I think that looks a lot better. Let me put this to the side. Alright, so now we have this, this, and this. You know what? I think I want to put a little brown on the happy birthday. Catch this side a little bit, and catch a couple spots in the bottom. Alright, let me stop before I get carried away. Alright, let's see. Let me take the pieces for the inside of the card and put them over here to the side for a minute. Alright, so what do we have now? We have that on there. This here. There we go, that's better. Alright, it's gotten dark now and get a little bit different lighting in my room. Alright, so we're going to go with that. Just like that. Alright, let's start putting this together. Now if you look at this one here, I did put some foam on here, so I'm going to do the same thing on this with this one. So I have my big thing of foam, and this foam is only 1/16 of an inch thick, but it is a 1/2 inch wide. And we'll put one in the middle. And a little piece on that side. Make sure it's all pushed down. Alright. Now let's peel off all the backing paper. And put this in the center. That. Now happy birthday. We'll put some foam on. I'm going to use the 16th inch thick foam, but I'm only going to use the foam that is a 1/4 inch wide. That way I don't have to trim it down. All right. Go on the back. We glue these two together. And once again, this was 6.5 by 4.5, and this is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Let's get this in the middle. Okay. So this will go on here. And this will be down here. Nope, I don't like it that way. Leave it this way. Let's see. I think I do want to put foam on this one too. And that's fine, because if they're each 1/16 of an inch, then it just gives you an 1/8. That is just fine. Let me get one more little piece here, down here. Alright, peel this backing off. Yeah, I couldn't believe my files were corrupted. Not really sure what happened. Alright, that will go here. Let's see. If I have this much space underneath the happy birthday, I want the same amount of space on the top. So about here. And we'll put the happy birthday on. Over here. And we'll glue this whole thing to the front. there's our front. Now this pattern paper, I don't remember if I said, this was in a subscription box. And then the craft card and just plain black paper. Alright, now for the inside of the card, I have this 3x5. And it's, so this is 3x5, this is 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. Now I'm thinking I want to put some brown on here. Since I put brown on the front of the card, I should make the inside match. So first I'm going to go around the outside, catch the edge, and then I'll put a couple little smudge marks on it. Maybe a couple up here. One down here. There we go. Maybe just take this brown really quick and just kind of go around a little bit. Just make it look a little aged. Go. You know, just a touch of brown makes a huge difference in a card sometimes. And you take out that stark whiteness. Alright, so this will be in the middle. Then I also have this 2x7. Which I think I will also mark up, since the rest of it is all marked. It just really adds to your card when you go around the edge like this. Just makes it look a little bit more finished. Alright, let's try to make some little smudge marks on here. Go. Alright, so let's get this glued in, and then this card will be done for the second time. Alright, I'm going to put this right up against the edge here. And this is always, what I use on the inside is always a piece of scrap. So, you know, when you start with an 8x8, you know, you use a lot of it here, but you always have a little piece left. So I always like to use that little piece that's left on the inside. It just kind of ties your card all together, and it just gives it a little extra something. Now, on all of these cards I've been doing for Craftaganza, I should say the materials from Craftaganza, I typed them up on my computer. I make a lot of my insides on my computer. And then I just cut them out to 3x5. So there we go. So there's that one. And here's the first one I made. So slightly different shape, slightly different colors. So I hope you liked this card. If you did, give me a thumbs up, because that's the way YouTube counts everything. And please consider subscribing to my channel, because every week I do have cards. And I will see you again for the next class. Until then, stay crafty.